Alright, that should be live. Click. Alright, yeah. So, as the title suggests, let's share a particular journey, Christianity and religion in general. Seeing as this is the first major Christian holiday since I started streaming. It'll be a short one today, I think. Growing up, I wouldn't call us a particularly religious household. Mom and grandparents were believers. Dad was probably agnostic. When I was real little, they go to church every Sunday. When I was real little, they'd bring me along. But that was more about letting my father enjoy his day off and keeping an eye on me without hiring a babysitter. Once I got a little older, it became my choice. My mother, and I congratulate her for this, said the religion is your choice. Never forced me to participate. It was always my choice to come to religion. And back then, I mostly chose not to go. Not because I didn't believe at that point. I was a little kid. I just believed what my mom believed. I didn't go because I had other stuff I wanted to do on Sunday morning. Sleep in and watch cartoons. Play with my friends. Again, they weren't, I didn't have to deal with anything like satanic panic. They didn't warn me about rock and roll. And Christianity was definitely presented as like the answer, but never in a way that was exclusionary to other trains of thought. Never accused of blasphemy or any such thing. Then I got a little older, and for a very brief time, I would say I was a true atheist. Meaning that I just didn't, it wasn't that I believed that there wasn't enough proof, it's that I believed there was proof enough that there wasn't a God. And I was pretty shitty at that time. I was probably close to what you kids would call a Reddit atheist. Again, that was short-lived. And after that, I kind of flip-flopped between, what's the word? Agnostic and what you called spiritual. Not necessarily buying into any particular faith, but not being convinced that there's nothing. I don't know if I ever went back to being a true atheist, so to speak. And that continued on for years. And then I hit a point where things got really bad. And they got to be too much for me. So I started doing all the things they tell you you're supposed to do. I started exercising more, started eating healthier, went to therapy, got on some medication. None of it was working. I was getting desperate. And I can't say that I believed at that point. I was probably more in the agnostic camp than the spiritual camp by then. But I was desperate, and I thought, well, what could going to church hurt? I'm trying to think of how much I want to explain. I was having daily panic attacks. So, I actually talked to my therapist about it. He goes, hey, yeah, give it a shot. So I look around and I find a church that I think I'd be okay with. I didn't do a ton of research. Oh, I guess I should point out, when I was a kid, or my grandparents were Congregationalists. And then at this point, the church I found was a Universal Unitarian, which I know people like to make fun of now. But I think the one in particular I went to was not what a lot of the other ones get called out for. It was a progressive, a little, but it was much more Christian focused. That's beside the point. I go to this church, and sit in the corner. Can you see my mouse? Probably not. I sit over on the left side off by myself. Sitting through service. In the middle of the service, I have a panic attack. I don't think I ever felt more low. Because here I was thinking, this is my last attempt. This is my last hope. That maybe Hail Mary pass, ironically, that this was going to help me. And I was there in that church and it wasn't. But I wasn't going to leave and be rude. So, I sit through the rest of the service. And I have a religious experience. I'm not going to share what that was or how it came about. But it was a significant thing for me. And it was enough to prove to me, personally, that there is a God, His Son was Jesus Christ, and that they died for my sins. That was a big thing. And I left the church and I kind of started thinking. And that, mind you, never had a panic attack ever again. To this day. But here I am, and I've been given, to me, evidence of God. Think about all those years that I didn't believe. And even now, even at that time, having this evidence given to me. Because it's such a pattern for me to doubt and to dismiss Christianity. I automatically go to it. Now I'm like scared. Does that mean I'm going to hell? How dare I be given this and still have doubt? And while I was kind of working through this, I kept going to church. And as this problem was coming to a head, there was a sermon that contains my favorite Bible quote. And I'm going to pull up another window here. Why did I do this in two different churches? Seemed like a good idea at the time. This is actually what the church I went to kind of looked like. It wasn't this one, but it had these kind of cheaper chairs, just a simple cross up behind the podium. And this was my favorite Bible passage, Matthew 14:31. This is the NIV version, I think, by the way. Immediately, Jesus reached out his hand, caught him. "You of little faith," he said, "why did you doubt?" Now, to give a little context to this, Jesus is out preaching the gospel, and 5,000 plus people show up to see him. And then there's the miracle of the feast, or the miracle of the 5,000, miracle of the fishes, whatever you want to call it. They only have a little bit of fish and bread. Jesus manages to feed everyone there. But while he's doing this, he sends the disciples off. "I'll meet up with you later." And then after the people have been fed and dismissed, Jesus returns, goes to meet with the disciples, and they're on a ship. And this is when Jesus is walking on water. And the "you of little faith" here is Peter. Peter sees Jesus, super excited, hops out of the boat, and Peter's walking on water. But then the wind picks up and the waves are around him, and he gets scared. As soon as he gets scared, he sinks into the water. And that's when Jesus comes up, grabs his hand, says, "Why did you doubt?" And for me at this time, this was and to this day, this is a very powerful passage that I wish more Christians would talk about. Because this is after the miracle of the 5,000. This is after Jesus has healed people. This is after Jesus has resurrected a woman's son. Peter's been with him the whole time. He's witnessed with his own eyes these miracles. But he still gets afraid of the wind and the waves. And he doubts. And Jesus would have been completely justified here. Just walk past him like, "What more do you want, man? You've sat with me. You've broken bread with me. You know me. What can I do? Why would you ever doubt in me?" But he doesn't. He picks him up out of the water. Just a friendly little chide. "Why did you doubt?" And he forgives him. And if Peter can be forgiven for his doubt, for all that he's seen, then I, 2,000 years later, how much more forgiveness am I allowed? And that really, getting that message when I needed it most was probably what made me never doubt again. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you my life's been sunshine and rainbows ever since. I still had a lot to go through. Still have a lot to go through. But I know I can do it now. Because now I have that in me. Now Jesus gave that to me. And I just wanted to, I'm not going to sit here and tell you you should, and that my proof should be your proof. But if you clicked on this video, I figure there's a good chance you're willing to listen, and if this helped you, then great. If not, well, I suppose I didn't waste too much of your time. I'm just going to end it off here and say, I pray that if you're going through bad times, that they end soon. You're going through good times, they last. But I promise you, you are given enough to get through it. If I can, you can. Happy Easter. You have a blessed day. Lovely to see you. Thanks for stopping by. I'm tired now. Go ahead and get home.